What up, B Squad? It is your boy JB, and we are here today with another review for The Real Housewives Ultimate Girls Trip Season 3, Episode 3. Don't rock the boat, you guys. This episode was a mess, especially the boat ride. So, before we get into this review, if you guys are watching this video or any other video on the channel, and you guys are not subscribed yet, do me a solid favor, stop having me pay for this date. Stop having me pay for this date. You guys know you can do me that favor by liking the video, subscribing to the channel, turning on your post notifications, and sharing the video. And with that out of the way, without further ado, let's discuss Ultimate Girls Trip Season 3, Episode 3, you guys. Shall we? All right, you guys, so I don't have a lot of notes because I'm gonna be honest, throughout the episode, I've been up since 6 o'clock this morning, so throughout the episode, I did fall asleep, but I still know what the hell happened, right? And so this episode, Alexia, and I believe it's Alexia and Marisol, but it might just be Alexia. So the ladies are going to be going on a yacht, and this yacht ride was chaotic as hell. So remember, Marisol is still sick, right? Actually, this episode actually opened up where the last one left off. Oh, you guys, I forgot to mention in episode 2 that Candace performed with the Lady Boys, and that the performance just wasn't that. I'm so sorry. You guys know how I feel about Candace. The performance wasn't that good. The music stopped, and she was still up there doing her Ashley Simpson rendition. And then one of the Lady Boys fell, so I forgot to mention that in episode 2. But this episode picked up where we left off with Leah talking about, oh no, I didn't forget it. It's in this episode. So we picked this episode up with Leah. So remember, I just told you guys in episode 2 that Leah said she was bored of Alexia's story. I'm like, thank God somebody said it, because Alexia's story was boring. And the fact that Alexia loves to blame Adriana is just bullshit, right? So Giselle, Candace asked Giselle who was she in Miami with, right? Because Giselle wasn't in Potomac before they went to Thailand. And Shanita Mann says she was with the man. Okay, Shanita, we don't care. So we did see Candace perform with the Lady Boys. The thing that bothered me was the fact that everybody got so upset with Leah because Leah said that she was bored. I don't think she was saying that and Portia wanted to make it out like Leah was saying she's bored with Candace's event and with Alexia's story. She was just bored of Alexia, not Candace. It was Alexia. I will say I like the fact that Candace and Leah have formed a friendship and a bond with each other. I do love that, right? So we're gonna pause here. We're gonna move forward. So as I told you, so Alexia, they're gonna be going on a boat ride. Pepsi went to tell Alexia that it's gonna be her. Now, I will say one thing about that place that they're staying at in Thailand. They have a lot of bugs. There was a centipede on the ground at one point at dinner. I think it was episode 1, when there was a roach and Heather picked up the roach. I was like, oh my God, girl, why? So on their way to the boat, they're talking about Leah, right? And Giselle is feeling a way about Leah. And I'm like, girl, you are just itching for something. Like, you just itching for anything, right? So Giselle felt the way about Leah saying that she was bored and that they should get a drink, right? And she's talking about, like, we're trained monkeys. Says the woman who doesn't know what colorism is. Okay, girlfriend, don't try to play the racism card, because that is not, Leah never said anything about y'all being trained monkeys. Giselle just loves to put 20 on 10, and she works my nerves when she does that, right? Leah is, oh God, I would have threw that ratty ass, especially that. Let's go back to the dinner real quick. That ratty ass wig that Giselle had on, I would have took that raggedy motherfucker off and threw it threw it to the wind. Now, what I will say is, with the ladies, it feels like they are all ganging up on Leah, and I'm just not feeling that, right? I don't like it. I don't like it because Giselle just had an issue with Alexia and Marisol speaking Spanish, but now you team Alexia and Marisol. Like, ugh. Then, and here's the other thing with Gizelle. Gizelle is doing typical Potomac Gizelle. She knows that there's something between people, so she wants to try to get the tea. She's done it with Heather and Whitney. She's doing it with she's getting the shit stirred up. Heather and Whitney, she got that shit stirred up. She's getting shit stirred up with Leah. She's getting shit stirred up everywhere she can. And people talking about, oh, Gizelle is a star. Okay, y'all, if y'all want to say Gizelle is a star, go ahead and say it, but it is what it is, right? Now, what I will say, I love the fact that Candace is defending Leah, right? So Leah at one point told the ladies how it was Leah. Or was it Candace? Either Candace or Leah. No, it was Candace. It was Candace. Candace was talking about how uncomfortable she has been here about being away from home, being on the other side of the world. She just feels uncomfortable, and how she wanted to go home, right? So Portia and now mind you, there were I don't know how many arguments on this boat. Leah versus Portia, Leah versus Gizelle, Leah versus Marisol, Candace versus Gizelle, Candace versus Portia, Heather versus Whitney. I mean, it was a lot of arguments that went on this boat. I would love to know how long they were on that boat, because, baby, they were arguing. It was so many goddamn arguments. And we'll pause here and we're going to move forward. So, when it comes to Gizelle, like I said, Gizelle is just doing a lot, and it's unnecessary if you ask me the truth, right? I think it was just completely unnecessary. So at one point, Portia, when Candace was talking about how she just feels so uncomfortable being near, Portia decided she wanted to bring up the night before when Candace gave them the nicknames of Shanita Man and Shateka Man, right? I was like, Portia, if you had an issue in that moment, you should have addressed it then, but you didn't. So now you want to wait till today to address the issues from last night. Make it make sense, right? Candace said she wasn't coming from it was in the blogs. Like, what the fuck? Candace had a question, so I just didn't understand Portia, right? And Shanita Man, what are you upset about? Shanita Man was just more so upset because nobody else got shady names but her and Portia. Well, I mean, shit. Shanita Man and Shateka Man, it is what it is. Roll with the punches. Come back at Candace with something else. Like, God, dog. So then Gizelle, pot stirring ass, decides that she wants to just dredge up some more stuff with Heather and Whitney, because she says that Heather and Whitney made a pact that they were not going to talk about anything. And they were like, no, we didn't make a pact that we're going to. She said we made a 50-50, that we're equal in whatever happened with their relationship. And the producers ran it back, and that's exactly what it was, right? Now Leah. Leah. Oh, Leah, girl. Leah got some shit started too, right? Because Leah was like, well, that's funny because Heather Whitney was talking shit about you. She's like, your name is still listed with the Mormons, and you're writing a book about bad Mormons. Why did Leah say that? Because, baby, Heather went the fuck off and hun Whitney had it out again. So once again, we're talking about stuff from season 3 of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, and I know nothing about what happened on season 3 of The Real Housewives of Salt Lake City, right? But I mean, they went back and forth. They even brought up, I do remember from the trailer, that Heather had a black eye, right? Now, I don't know what happened with the black eye. I don't know how Heather got the black eye. I do know that was a big part of the story this season. How did Heather get the black eye? I know that Heather was quite vague about details about the black eye. And I don't know what happened at the reunion. Now, mind you, Heather was talking about this in her interview with the producers about the fact that, we just recently filmed season 3 of Salt Lake City. We haven't even had a reunion yet, right? So, again, I don't know what happened in the season 3, and I don't know what happened at the reunion. So I don't know if Heather explained it or not. And I think from what Whitney was saying that she felt like maybe Jen had punched Heather in the eye, and Heather says she didn't. But then Heather told what she thought happened. So she said she thinks she might have opened a cabinet and hit herself in the eye. I don't know and I don't care, you guys. What else? So they asked Whitney, did she have a picture of the black eye? She said yes. So Gizelle and Portia wanted to see it. And Marsau said, if it's going to be on the show, then don't show it. Let it just play out on the show. I was like, wow. Do I actually agree with Marsau? Like, me agreeing with Marsau, but I agree with that. If it was going to play out on the show, let it play out on the show, which we know it did. And I think hindsight being 2020, I think maybe Whitney should have showed the photo, right? If Heather wasn't clear about what happened in the show, then, and at the reunion, girl, just show the fucking picture, right? So I want to pause here and we're going to move forward and wrap up the episode. Now, so remember, I told you guys earlier that Gizelle was upset with Leah because of what she said about Alexia and her being bored with Alexia's story, right? So Candace told them what happened in season 7 of Potomac, and Leah was like, well, I know you lying. So she was mad at me because I said what I said about Alexia, but then she did this to you and Chris. So Leah went in and confronted Gizelle like, wait a minute, so you were mad at me because I said that I was bored when Alexia was talking, but here you are accusing Chris of being inappropriate with you. That ain't what I said. That ain't what I said. I was like, man, say what now? Run that shit back for me. What did you say? Is that what you didn't say that? So let's run down the list of bullshit that Gizelle said this season of Potomac. You said that you and Chris went into your dressing room. Your glam squad wasn't there. He made you uncomfortable, right? And I'm not gonna take back the air quotes of he made her uncomfortable. We're gonna say he made her uncomfortable, right? Chris left. That was it. In the uncomfortability. But then you said many of married men have tried you and you felt like he was trying you. He was a sneaky link to Robin. So, yeah, you did she lost me. Oh, you guys, I forgot to mention something. So, there was a scene when they went out to dinner when Candace, I believe it was this episode, because Candace was talking about how she and Chris are having some issues in their marriage. Candace talked about the fact that she asked the ladies who were married, do they feel like them being on the show, can it hurt their marriages or their relationships? Why the fuck did Gizelle chime in? I was like, man, you ain't got no room to talk about it. But I mean, I know that season 3, when they brought on Kendall, Sherman's ex, that did mess up her relationship, right? And I think she really was in love with that man. But where are we at? What was I talking? Oh, so yeah, Gizelle's talking about she didn't say that, and then she talking about, talk about the men and how they can't do stuff on the show because they might, people will see them. Michael Darby. I'm like, but Gizelle, your storyline this whole season of season 7 of Potomac was about Chris and him making you feeling uncomfortable, him trying to push up on you as if he wanted to do something with you. Pot, please meet the kettle. Like, girl, I can't with her. What really tripped me up was when Leah called Gizelle Nick. Y'all, I cracked up when she called that woman Nick. But that's really all I got for this episode. I want you guys to get down in the comment section, subscribe to the channel, turn on your post notifications, share the video, and until the next time, you guys stay safe. Take care of yourselves, wash your hands, be blessed, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.